Welcome to this week's edition of the Owl and the Pussycats. Well, almost week one of the holidays been and gone. How have you handled it? Not too stressful, I hope. Let's hope you got out and about and had a bit of a fun time. We got Easter out of the road and we're chewing our way through the school holidays, which is good. Let's meet the panellists on the Owl and the Pussycats for this week. Well, first up, Andrea Cairns. Lovely to see you back again.
Nice
Thank
to
you
be
very
back.
much by popular demand. The mohair. How's the mohair store going?
Really good, actually.
Good?
It's,
Okay.
again, as soon as the weather starts getting a bit cooler, people start to need their warm, cosy things for winter.
Right, and it's beautiful
good.
stuff, isn't it?
It is.
How are you coping with the school holidays, though, mate?
Good, actually. I've got my, next week's my time with the children, my week, so we've got lots of fun stuff planned. So
So
nice.
what have you done in the school holiday week that you haven't got children?
Just had some nice, some nice girl time, headed away, so it's been lovely.
Did you get over to the West Coast?
Yes,
Beautiful,
it's great.
isn't it?
Yep,
Yeah,
stunning.
great. So we're just catching up with on our Andrea got on with her school holidays. Jude Kirk, you're welcome. Of course, let's go shop in the face of and so enthusiastic in everything you do. Have you been enthusiastic this week in the school holidays with your one daughter?
Oh, well, she's actually been with her father this week. So I'm the same as Andrea. We seem to have the same weeks
Yeah,
on
we
and
do
off,
now.
don't we? Yeah. So, I miss her terribly when she's not around.
What did you do with girly time?
Well, I actually had my girlfriend, Jude Carver, down from Nelson, and it was a 20-year catch-up.
Oh.
So amazing. It's
Is a
just
week
wonderful.
long enough to catch up on 20 years?
No. Plenty of wine drunk, though, Pete.
You
You'll
look
be
as though you
impressed.
survived it pretty
Oh,
jolly well.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Michelle McMillan, lovely to see you again. Michelle, you were here last week, of course, a business strategist and a mentor, founder of Women in the Rebuild, and of course a finalist in the North Canterbury Professional Service Award. School holidays, it's a bit easier to get round the city. Have you noticed that?
Definitely. I've noticed that coming in from Kaiapoi across the Waimak Bridge. You can leave at 7:30 and it doesn't take you an hour to get into work. So, yeah, it is actually a lot easier to get around the city, especially a lot of us kind of juggle if we've got the opportunity to leave work when it suits and beat the traffic and do some work at home afterwards.
Do you find a little bit of a problem with it, where a number of appointments you want to make, people are away?
No, most people actually don't go away at this break.
Right.
They tend to be working through. It's about time is money, and hey, let's face it, the taxes have just been due. So, you have to earn your money.
Tax time,
Yes.
not a pleasant time at all, is it? Okay, let's go to the mail, and we've had plenty of it come in. Don't forget your opportunity of how you can do it. It's lisa.jordan@ctv.co.nz. Keep those letters coming in, the emails coming in, because we love trying to solve the problems. We don't always succeed, though. Let's go. This is Molly from Ashburton. Lovely to see you in Ashburton as well. Hi there. I went out on the weekend and left my granddaughter at home alone. She's 15. I checked my phone and on Facebook she had written, "I wish I had a boyfriend right now." Don't we all? Okay, I panicked and didn't know if I should head home in case someone was planning on popping over after reading her message to keep her company. Obviously my granddaughter is old enough to have a Facebook page, but should she have one? Is there enough being done to protect them from anything bad happening, or should I be expected to stay home and monitor all the time? My answer, no. Second part of the question is social media, it's here. How do we all deal with it? Let's go. Mums for a start.
Well, I actually went to a seminar just the other week through Alexandra's school, and it was very interesting. My analogy of it is my choice has been to be in media and to put my face and myself out there. And parents need to realise it's exactly the same with the internet, with their children. It's up to them as to how much exposure their children get and how they don't. There's plenty of precautions that can be put on. Parents need to really skill themselves greatly on that.
Absolutely, yeah.
So you find
Agreed.
that yourself as well?
Yeah. Yeah, and there is all those things. And there's, great, I went to a seminar at school a year or so ago as well, and we as parents need to keep up with what the current
Absolutely
things
we
are.
do.
And the thing is now, Facebook almost for teenagers isn't the popular thing, it's Instagram, because they don't want to go on Facebook because we're all on Facebook.
Yeah, it's crusty, it's old,
See,
isn't it?
Instagram's in Isabella's class. Yeah.
Sorry,
No,
Shirley, what?
absolutely.
Your mother
Yeah.
can stalk
Yeah.
you on Facebook.
Right, yeah.
So
You're
it's,
exposed to this obviously all the time, are you? In business mentoring and whatever.
Yeah.
There's just nowhere to hide, is there?
no, and you have to be very careful what messages you put out there and how you present yourself. And the naivety of youth thinking it's cool and doing this, unless you take the time to explain the implications. It's actually, as a proactive parent, I would say you need to explain the implications. If you put this comment of whatever on Facebook, it will haunt you.
Because
Or
the
wherever.
biggest problem is you hit the button, it's gone. Yeah, it's not like writing a letter and you think
absolutely.
I'll screw it up and send not send it.
Absolutely.
No, that's saying
It's instant
out
coffee,
there.
isn't it?
The thing is as well that the parents need to be educating the children on is that goes on file as well. Even if they delete a message off Facebook, it's still there. It is still there. It can be recovered at any single time. It's never deleted. There is no such thing as deleted
So
on social media.
Right.
So be really careful. People have actually got down to being offered jobs or down to 2 on a list. You may know this, Michelle, as well, information.
Yes, yeah.
And the bosses have gone through and been able to rake up stuff and they've lost a job.
Problem?
It is a problem. I mean, if we go back, say, 15 years ago when we had the scam of the lecturers coming to New Zealand and saying they had this degree here and that degree here, nobody was doing the reference checks. Hey, now you can do a reference check quite quickly.
Absolutely.
And it's
Yes, so there are those pros and cons that can work in your favour or not.
Anyone brave enough to say, no, you're not allowed to use it?
I have all sorts of blocks on for Alexandra.
but
So it's perfectly safe for her
and
to
even
go
for
on.
things like my daughter's got a smartphone now, and she knows that at any time, either I can say to her, I want to look at your phone, and I'll look through it, and she knows that that's just part of the rules. And
Have you found stuff that should not have come through?
No, the only couple of things one time were a couple of text messages via between friends of just little girly little things, which I won't go into. But it's those little things. But you use that just to teach them to say, look, that's not maybe what you should be using your phone for.
In
and
the
things, but nothing
workplace,
major.
do you warn employees, they are vulnerable to what they send
oh, of course they are.
and what they receive?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
So, that comes under your employment contract. And if you breach that, I mean, there's been cases where people have posted things on Facebook after they've left a company and been defamatory. So you can actually go after them
Really?
for that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a Facebooker or a tweeter or a Twitter or a twatter or whatever I meant to be. I'm not, but
Close to the twatter.
sorry,
You're close to the twatter.
am I?
Yeah. Just kidding.
And I'm still trying to master that. Anyway, where we go? So I just find it's easier to avoid it,
sure.
and my life still goes on, funnily enough. And you talk to
absolutely.
youngsters, and they'd die if they didn't have it. Yeah.
Modern technology.
My grandkids are still too young to actually, but it'll come up, won't it? It'll,
Oh, it will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when your grandkids get to that age, Facebook will be done and dusted, like some of the ones MySpace was. Everything moves at such a rapid space. What we learn today, or the kids are learning today, and for their jobs in the future, haven't even been created.
The joys of bringing up children and grandchildren. Can't wait. Back in a moment. Well, it's all go here. Back with the Owl And The Pussycats in a minute.
Hi, I'm Chris Lynch. Join me every Monday at 8:30 on CTV as we discuss the issues affecting you, your family, and everything to do with Canterbury. That's CTV 8:30 right here.
Computer not working? Replace or repair? DIY or get a technician? Looking for parts? Thinking of upgrading? Need accessories? You've got questions, we've got answers. Global PC.
The preparation, the devotion, the fearlessness, the intensity,
Runway model management. First impressions are everything.
Made to measure interiors, made with care, made for you.
Join Graham Sinclair and the team at Gone Fishing as they bring you great stories, fishing tips and beautiful scenery. Gone Fishing, Friday night at 8:30, right here on CTV.
Welcome back to the Owl and the Pussycats. You've met the panel, and this time I think we're really going to fizz them up because this has been a contentious issue, hasn't it? Been right across the media, all forms of the media, and everyone, it seems, has an opinion. Recently in the media, a story came up where a bar staff member was reluctant to serve a pregnant woman and asked her if she should be drinking. So he asked her to start with, okay? We went out on the streets to ask the opinion of you on the matter. Here's what you had to say.
I think you're right. It's common sense, really, that drinking while you're pregnant's not good. I suppose it's, yeah. I think she done probably the right thing, yeah, by not giving her a drink. Yeah, my personal opinion.
I suppose it's that person's opinion. Like, they obviously had that belief of not giving someone a drink that, you know, is pregnant.
Yeah, well, because the bar decides who they want to serve. So if you don't want to serve a pregnant woman because it's not good for the child to drink while pregnant, it's their choice. So I think it's fair that they deny her drinking alcohol, even though it's not illegal.
Yeah, I think if someone has their own moral code there, they can refuse. I don't think someone should be put in that situation, really, and there should be a law around that. But if I was in that situation, I'd refuse, so I'd stand behind that barmaid. Yeah.
Do you think you could say that she was discriminated against because she was pregnant?
Possibly. I would say that there's a possibility of harm there. So I wouldn't say it's discrimination. I'd say it's just someone who's trying to care for someone else.
If she was just getting a drink, she wasn't drunk, then yeah, I don't see why they should refuse it. One drink is not going to hurt, and it'd be different if she was drunk. Yeah, then I wouldn't serve her, and you wouldn't serve a drunk anyway, so.
Well, the only part I can actually have any input into this is I don't think I've ever walked into a bar and had one only. So I admire her for that. Right, let's go, guys. You're all into it. Whose eye is on?
Can I scream? Can I scream? I am so sick of all the PC bull that goes on in this country. Sick of it. I came back from overseas in 2004 and I could not believe how New Zealand had changed. It's crap of the highest sort. Nobody's got a sense of humour anymore. Everybody's tiptoeing on eggshells. People need to just suck it up and harden up and get on with life, quite frankly.
Okay, this lady is pregnant. We know that for a start. Michelle, is it a good idea that she was even thinking of having a drink?
Well, it comes down to personal choice.
Does it?
It does. She made the decision to go in there and hand over her money to buy a drink. We don't know whether she was having double shots or having watered down house wine. So she's had one.
I like the watered down house wine. Yeah,
sorry.
Good girl. Yeah, true.
She's made that personal decision. She's an informed woman. She knew how to get pregnant. We hope.
Wow. That's an issue for another day. Yeah.
But she's made the decision. This person on the other side of the counter took the moral opinion and it was their own moral opinion. Because it's not in law that you cannot serve a pregnant woman.
Absolutely.
You cannot serve an intoxicated person. You cannot serve a person under, is it 18? But you can serve a pregnant woman. He made or she made the moral statement. That was their judgment. Was it in their work description? Probably not.
Right, okay. But having said that, all the publicity at the moment is the fact is that if you are pregnant, don't drink. You know, are they all wrong, all these experts?
There's actually a lot of research, and over in Europe they've got some interesting studies. I remember reading them
Well, they
years
just drink
ago.
24 hours a day.
Well, but the whole thing of having, you know, half a glass of wine maybe once a week or so, you know, isn't
I used
the
to have the
worst thing
odd glass
in the
of red
world.
wine.
Yeah,
Small glass of red wine at home if we were having a dinner party while I was pregnant.
You know, one thing that came out in this argument was it depends whereabouts you are in your pregnancy. Is that
well,
valid?
see, and that's another interesting thing, because quite often it's in your first 12 weeks of being pregnant, and a lot of the time, for majority of people, a lot of time they might not even know,
No,
and
they
can be heavily
fish.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's almost worse than having a wine at a bar later on when you're visibly pregnant.
Absolutely, and
for the
you're aware
yeah,
of the fact that you're pregnant, you know?
The other big flaw in this system is, for a start, that I would get caught out on, and I have actually in a retail store been caught out. When are you due? And she's not pregnant at all, she's just a bit overweight. So the bar person may have taken a punt.
I think anyone who's worked in retail,
bumped into an old girlfriend from school and said, "When are you expecting? When's baby due?" Oh no, there was no baby on board.
I just never ask people now.
No, I
just
don't.
For that whole
stopped.
that fear of offending someone.
Well, I take it a step further now. I never ask how their partner is, because they change them as often as they change their underpants. So I don't know.
What are you saying there, Pete?
Well, they seem to trade up and down a lot, you know, people today in relationships. But never mind. The point is,
That's another issue.
the bar person did take a bit of a part. How did he or she know that person was even pregnant, for God's sake?
Well, she might have had maternity bump expecting.
Truly?
Well,
Yeah, right, yeah. They're pretty good at wearing really tight-fitted clothing while they're heavily
Really
pregnant now,
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's just get an opinion. Who's right, who's wrong in the saga?
Both.
Yeah, I actually.
So there's not really a
both.
resolution to it.
Well, my aspect on it is that they were both wrong, because the barmaid should never have said anything in the first place, because, well, she should have taken it to her manager. And secondly...
What if she was a duty manager?
And the second... Well, then I suppose she's acting on however she's been trained, one would hopefully
how many
think,
drinks
instead
she'd ordered
of, like
and
you
things like
said,
that as
Michelle,
well.
as well, you know, instead of on her own moral high ground, quite frankly. Was it a
Is
first drink, a
moral high
second
ground, or
drink?
is it a host responsibility?
Well, like we said, it depends, or like Michelle said, it depends. Was it a first drink, a third drink, what, you know?
First drink, I'd say it's a bit of moral, and if it was a second or third, then I would think that's a host
absolutely.
responsibility of
Me
thinking.
too.
Hey, she might have had, look, just add into the mix, she might have had the car keys as well.
Yeah.
So she could have actually been a
Oh,
pregnant
dear,
woman,
oh, dear.
having a few
Absolutely.
wines over the limit with the car keys.
Yeah.
I was actually going back
Reading
9
Mac.
months, she may have.
And may I add,
Yes, ma'am.
what's her problem? Anyway, at the end of the day, was she not satisfied that she'd sorted it out with this guy or woman, whoever? I think it was a guy, wasn't it? A barman.
Yes.
Well, we could go on about this for some time, but we're
Was she
screaming
one
at
of
break
these
in here.
self-media flatulating people?
Absolutely.
Only thing that went through my mind was, I
Absolutely.
wonder if 9 months before she was drunk and didn't remember it. Go back in a minute with the Owl And The Pussycats.
Okay.
With all the latest innovations in the world of technology, Shift has everything you need to stay informed and in the know. Shift, 2:15 on Monday, right here on CTV.
Opus is recreating the heart of Canterbury. From large-scale projects to commercial buildings. Your design, your vision. Opus.
Colour in your life. Colour Steel, the roof of New Zealand.
Diversity. No deposit. Instant finance. Convenience. Open 7 days. Austin Motor Company.
Drive It showcases the new arrivals to the motoring world, comparing and testing the latest models to discover which one is the best. Drive It, Sunday afternoons at 2:30, only on CTV.
I've said it so often, one day we will actually record the ad break about what goes on around the table. But it leads us on very, very nicely. Jill from Sockburn writes, I am disgusted in this city. I'm an older woman, but when I want to go out and have a drink at the behaviour of some of the yobbos that are in the hotel. Anyone had an experience along those lines?
Absolutely. Why is it always me? Am I allowed to tell you what happened in the weekend?
Yes.
What I just said
Where
before?
were you?
I was down in Queenstown.
Mm-hmm.
I was down in Queenstown and there was a group of guys that...
Age?
My partner and I, same age, early 50s, early to mid 50s, and walked past them and I was with my partner walking up one of the little mall streets there, and one of them yelled out and said, hey, how about a to me as I walked past?
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, I don't have to put up with that
You
anymore.
didn't think you'd won lotto?
No. Oh, God,
Yeah.
no.
So?
I went back and demanded an apology.
To
And
them?
I ended up against a glass plate window, and they were fair getting ready to put me through that. A whole load of people had gathered around. I said, I just want an apology. You can't say this and get away with it anymore. I'm sick of it. I'm not a kid anymore. I'm a grown woman, and how dare you insult me and my partner? I want an apology. And they ended up, there was one sober guy, he came up and diffused the situation with them, getting them off, because I was fair blocking them with getting hands on me. And then when we walked away, he apologised on behalf of them. He said, look, we really love tourists in the city, in Queenstown, and we're really, really sorry. As locals, we don't normally treat people like this. And I thought, no, they do, because they don't.
I mean, there's actually, in the last 5 years, this absolute culture that's actually seeped into our city. And this is, in Christchurch, with the bars now coming up and the ratio of men to women.
Yes.
Women aren't going out into the pubs. If you go out to the bars, you're on the hunt. Well, not every woman is on the hunt.
How dare they?
And it's absolutely insulting.
It is.
And when you talk to some of the younger girls, they go as a group, so they've actually got security in numbers, and you go into a bar and all of a sudden you've been pounced upon by half a dozen Irish lads with, real brogues and everything, and they don't feel comfortable. Yeah. So a lot of women are actually now drinking at home, drinking with their friends.
I'm one of them.
You don't go in the bar.
To a quieter restaurant and have a meal and some drinks. And
well, that was exactly what we'd done, and we were just walking back to our suite, and bam, got pounced upon like that.
Yeah, the disturbing thing for me is, and I'm not being rude to you at all, G, but you are a mature woman. I can understand how girls are vulnerable, young girls.
Well, Pete, the thing was, these guys, like I said, were early to mid-50s. They'd have all been dressed in beautiful suits like you are at the moment during their working week. There were no yobbos amongst them at all. They were all very eloquent, very, very respectable, I'm sure, when they're not drunk.
What did your partner
They've got
do?
wives at home. He just about died.
Did he support you?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
It's that pack mentality that's crept
Yeah.
back.
Absolutely. Safety in numbers, isn't it?
Absolutely it is.
Well, they're all bulletproof.
Yeah.
And it's actually going back to the good old bar swill days and the rugby. What stays on tour, goes on tour, stays on tour, mate. It's absolutely getting beyond a joke out there.
Andrew, you're a solo mum. You want to meet a man. It used to be, you would go and have a drink somewhere and might meet a nice guy. Is that not quite so good now?
Oh, probably not. Actually, I mean, I've gone out a few times with a few girlfriends just wanting to have, I guess, girly chat time and stuff. And, sometimes you do end up,
a leech.
Yeah, not maybe just you just want to have some girl time and catch up on things.
So have you a preconceived idea as to how you're going to get rid of them, or if you work?
Oh no, I mean if you don't chat away to them or say, look, we're just having girl time.
And yet there are some nice guys.
Do you know what I was going to say? That's well, there are some lovely guys out there as well.
Yeah.
So it's a shame that some of them all get tarnished because of the behaviour of some
And
of
if there's
them.
lonely women, there's lonely guys.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
But see, my girlfriend and I, when we were out, this was a couple of years ago, we were out at a Merivale bar, just sitting there quietly, having something to eat and drink. A couple of guys were there and just started chatting to us. They were really sweet. And but we found out they'd removed their wedding rings for the evening.
See,
I
and
mean, it's really rife out there, Pete.
That absolutely is.
See,
I know,
the
and that's
sad
how
thing
you
for me,
know.
because I'm a
Yeah.
great yapper, I'll talk to anybody.
Oh,
and,
same.
So
and
am I.
And I love other people's company. But you're saying, I mean, there's just got to be some rules put in place, but it's a breakdown, is it, that this has now become acceptable?
It's become acceptable.
Yeah.
As you say, they remove the wedding rings. They even don't respect women who are wearing the complete band set. Everybody's fair game. It's a bit of a joke. Well, no, it's not.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can't go to a bar with your girlfriend, sit down, have a meal, or just a drink without having some leech.
Does it work in reverse? Do girls hit on guys?
Don't know those kind of girls.
No, well, I obviously don't go to the right place, but I just want to.
Pete, in this city at the moment, there is a disproportion of women to men.
Right.
So
and it's not in a good way.
No, it's not in a good way. It's actually got a real trade and blue collar kind of atmosphere to
well,
it.
That's a rebuild scenario, isn't it? Obviously.
It's a boomtown scenario.
Yeah.
And look, if I had a 17-year-old daughter, or even coming up for the next 10 years, I would actually be packing her off overseas.
Really?
Yes, you can go to some boarding school and finishing school.
Absolutely.
Because...
Well, you've got 10, 11... How old?
No, she's almost 9.
9, yeah.
Almost
You've got
9,
a
but looks 10
10-year-old. Yeah. You're going to face it.
Oh, absolutely. I'm bringing Alexandra up to be a really strong, independent woman and not to take anything from anybody either.
Well, I've got four beautiful granddaughters, and I said we're not going to let them out of the wardrobe till they're 30. So
I'm giving Alexandra to the convent.
And now there you go.
Yeah, I know.
Or it could be just as dangerous as a pub. Just be careful. I don't know if you're doing the right thing there, Jude, but hey, thanks very much, Jill. It's provoked conversation, and it was an area I had never ever thought of because I'm not a bar hopper or an out and about person. So, I just am not aware of what. That was a nasty scenario for you in Queenstown.
Absolutely.
I'm not blighting Queenstown. I'm just saying.
No. I'd just be interested that the wives find out, quite frankly.
Yeah. Although you could have walked away with a fair bit of pride that they actually signalled you out. I mean, that's the other side of the ledger, isn't it? OK, we'll be back with more of your mail next week and look forward to it. Remember, it's lisa.jordan@ctv.co.nz. New panel, we'll address these issues.